Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about some do's and don'ts of driving on the highway. In this video, I'll be going over a few simple things that you should do when driving on the highway and a few simple things that you should definitely not do when driving on the highway. Now let's get right into it. I'm going to be alternating back and forth between do's and don'ts, and I also feel like this video will be useful for every driver regardless of whether you've been driving for 2 months or 50 plus years. Now let's get right into it. First on the list, do merge at highway speeds. When you are merging onto a highway, you want to make sure that you are merging at highway speeds. That means that if the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour, you should try and match that speed when getting onto the highway. You should try and get to 100 kilometers an hour before you merge onto the highway. Now, there is another scenario, and that's when there is traffic on the highway. When it's congested and people are driving below the speed limit, you want to match that speed. So if everyone, on the other hand, is only driving 70 kilometers an hour, because there's congestion on the highway, then you want to match that 70 kilometers an hour before you actually make your way onto the highway, before you merge onto the highway. Next on the list is don't switch lanes without using a signal, okay? Your lever beside your steering wheel activates your turn signals. It's as easy as that. Build a good habit of only switching lanes when you're using your turn signal. I see so many people switch lanes on the highway without signaling. Now here's the situation. You're driving at relatively high speeds and you're driving this vehicle that weighs thousands of pounds. So you should be letting everyone else around you know where you're going. Simply use your turn signal. Make it a point to use your turn signal before you switch lanes. It lets everyone else know which way you are headed. It allows for a safer driving environment for yourself and everyone else around you, and it just really prevents other drivers from not liking you. It's as simple as that. Next on the list, do keep a safe following distance. Now here's the situation. When you're driving on the highway, you should have an increased following distance than when you're driving on a main road or on a side street, okay? The faster that you're going, the bigger that your following distance should be. Now, here's a quick way to measure your following distance in seconds. You look at the car that you're following, the car that's in front of you, and you start counting when they pass something like a light post, a milestone that you can see. You start counting when they pass it, and you stop counting when you pass that same thing. Let's say the car in front of me just passed the light post. I would start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if I pass that same light post right when I got to 4, that would mean that I have a 4-second following distance, okay? So you should keep a good following distance on the highway, and if the weather conditions are not ideal, then you know what, you should increase that following distance even more, okay? So research what the following distance is for highways where you live, because it'll be different depending on the highway speed. So research what it is and then use that as a guide and increase that number if the weather conditions are not ideal. Next on the list, don't drive on the highway when you're tired. Now here's the deal. You should never drive when you're tired, whether it's on a side street or the highway. But when you drive on the highway, you have an even more increased risk, simply because you're driving at faster speeds. If you're driving on a side street at 30 kilometers an hour versus driving on the highway at 100 kilometers an hour, obviously it's even more risky to drive on the highway at these higher rates of speed. So never drive when you're tired, but especially do not drive on the highway when you're tired. It's as simple as that. Next on the list, do maintain a constant speed. Listen, there's no point in speeding up, slowing down, weaving through lanes of traffic. Just keep a constant speed, okay? Pick the highway lane that matches the speed that you want to drive. Whatever lane that is, pick that lane, and then obviously maintain a constant speed. If you have to pass a car, go for it, but maintain a constant speed for the most part. You don't want to be constantly speeding up and slowing down. It increases the level of danger and risk for everyone, and it wastes a lot of gas, and it really doesn't get you there much faster anyways. So just maintain a constant speed. Next on the list, don't forget to use your mirrors constantly. your car will have 3 mirrors, will likely have 3 mirrors. One mirror over here, which is your rear view mirror, and 2 side mirrors. Now here's the situation. These mirrors allow you to see behind your car. And it's actually important to be able to know what's going on behind your car when you're driving on the highway, as well as in front of your car. So you're gonna be driving on the highway, looking in front of your car. You should also be constantly checking the mirrors so you know what's going on behind your car. You should know what's happening behind your car. So just constantly check the mirrors. Next on the list, do plan ahead for getting off the highway. So you don't want to be driving in the left lane and then you realize that your exit is approaching really quickly, so you have to switch lanes all the way to the right really quickly. That's not what you want to do, okay? You want to make sure that you know in advance when you're going to be getting off the highway and switch lanes accordingly. So if you're in the left lane or, towards the left of the highway and you realize that your exit is approaching in a few kilometers, start making your way over to the right. Plan accordingly and switch lanes accordingly so that you're not obstructing any traffic or making any hasty decisions to switch lanes, because that's what creates an unsafe situation. Saying, I need to switch 3 lanes within a matter of 10 seconds, that creates a very unsafe situation, and it should be avoided at all costs. And last on this list is don't forget to wear your seatbelt. This thing right here, this seatbelt, it increases the level of safety when you're driving significantly, okay? And this is especially true when you're driving at faster speeds, like highway speeds. Wear your seatbelt, okay? It's as simple as that. You saw how quickly I put it on. It literally just took like a second, literally like 1 to 2 seconds. It is super quick, and it increases the level of safety significantly, and it's self-explanatory. I don't have to go any further than that. And that's basically it. In this video, I have gone over some do's and don'ts of driving on the highway. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know down below as a comment, what are some do's and don'ts of highway driving that you consider do's and don'ts? Let me know down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.